Oppression. I've fought many battles. I've tried to climb this infrastructure. Let my culture rise. I've seen it, been down before. We drowned with the tide, but I promised my mother, me a son will rise past the war. The hatred that they've caused, of course, by saying my wounds are still sore. I know this oppression won't hold, 'cause I am the hollow bone, and I will throw the stone to break down the walls of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. But this hatred can't hold, can't hold, can't hold. Listen, 'cause my people, we fought for a long time. We've been enslaved and then we've been enshrined, 'cause we are divine. Just look in my eyes. I tell you, my melanin will rise. They call for Wakanda, but my spirit's raging thunder. 1,000 million mild army can stop us, because we are the fighting force to heal the war. This oppression, of course. They say nature will run its course. The war has called for an inner divorce of all they thought that we could be. Yeah, but let them know our melanin is free. Random still, but yeah, melanin is free. Once I started practicing, I remember hearing Muslim Bilal, and I was like, I'm a Muslim, I came from the streets to Islam, the ghetto. When I see your brother, give a palm, embrace with a hug and greet with salam, assalamu alaikum. That was potent.
Yeah.
And like the way he was singing with Abdullah Roll's hums in the background, that was like, that affected me. I'm not gonna lie. And music really affected me at that point. And seeing that alternative there, I was like, when I hear this, I feel closer to God.
Okay,
so I was like, all right, cool. Then
but you said when you started practicing, so how do we get to the stage where you start practicing?
I went to college.
Okay.
So by this point, different friendship groups, different circles, met a lot of brothers from an all-boys school, so it's a different culture completely, but they had so much love for me because I sang anyway, and the singing brings me into so many different doors. But then it was used to kind of pick up girls. It was really weird. I'm with these people, but their behavior, their etiquette, their actions, the stuff I ended up getting involved in, like, it just wasn't right, and I could feel its effects on my heart and my soul, and I needed a big disconnect from that, like a really big disconnect.
And then this is 18 years old now.
18 years old, and I'm like, what can I do to purify my heart right now? My mum used to say, pray, pray, pray.
Yeah.
I was in a very panicked state, and I made wudu actually. I didn't even do the prayer. I did wudu, and I felt a peace over me.
Okay.
And I was like, cool, you know what, I think this might be the path I need to be on instead of whatever's going on over there.
Okay.
And then once I started practicing, that's the journey. Music's haram? Oh no, okay, I'll put it down. There's this nasheed thing. Then I go to all these places, I only hear one good artist. The rest are like, and it hurt. And I was just with my boys, and we were just like, you know what? We could do our own version. So every day I had these two close friends, and we'd always just make up our own nasheeds and just have some fun with it, man.
Yeah. And then from that point, you're on the scene, Faisal Salah, nasheed artist, copying, 18 years old, and then you disappear.
Yeah. Let's be honest, yeah.
So what happens then?
Reality, man. Reality happened where it can be intoxicating, finding identity within community.
Okay.
And then, let me be blunt about it.
Yeah, please do.
Just be blunt.
Just keep it real.
Yeah, just keep it 100%. I don't need to, I'm with a community, like, and it starts off me not, like the first nasheeds, I'm not perfect, far from that. Find it hard to lower my gaze, I struggle to pray my salah.
Yeah.
People are connecting to me, telling me this is amazing. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Start performing, I get these people following me. I get the older brother who's supposed to be looking out for me, telling me, listen, now you're a role model. Like, these people are watching you. Like, you gotta be careful. Listen, don't be wearing no clothes outside of a thobe. I had this belief that Islam was this beautiful, like, localized thing where there's it's like a phoenix, all these different sides to it. It just reborn, all these communities, all the beautiful diversity. And then the more I started to practice, it's like, you'll stay with them lot. They're a bit weird. You need to be like this, and inshallah, everything works out.
Yeah.
Then the reality kicked in that no one else was really kind of living to the same ideals. I had really like created this utopian idea of what we Muslims were and what we could be. It was like everybody, what I had been shown was like people can slip, people can fall off, this stuff. Okay, all of this was normal. What had hit me like a ton of bricks was when a video was made.
Okay.
Like for me, I believe in like synchronicity. Nothing happens for no reason.
Okay.
The person who even made this video was the first person to ever tell me about Islam when I was like 14 in a mosque.
Wow.
That's how mad it all rewinds up, like when I was a real kid. So the very first door that I walked into was the door that pushed me out. It's weird how my mind had to internalize all of this, but someone did a video called Roadside fitna.
Okay.
Cool. Someone doing this like weird video about all these black people and they're bringing gangster culture into Islam and they're abusing people. Muslim Bilal's like the front gunner to shoot him down, massacre. Look at the way he's using his hands when he talks. It's like the kuffar, they're making us opposite the disbeliever. It's giggleable, right?
Yeah.
So that's
quite sad as well.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, lol. I was like, this is great. Someone actually called me to tell me this was going on. So I'm like, lol, okay.
So what kind of things were you kind of reading?
These people were like, these are dogs, they should be whipped, man, these lot are kuffar. I never knew that they were leading people astray like this before. May Allah punish them, I can't believe what they've been doing. This is horrible, I didn't know they were really like this. The very people I look to as role models, I'm seeing the way they've internalized and dealt with the situation. I'm like, this isn't it. What's going on?
Okay.
That very same day, I remember leaving that masjid. And no masjid.
And how old are you now at this point, sorry?
I'm 18, 19. I catch a 207 bus. As I go past, I see these brothers with like these weird thobes. You know the ones like in the knee, they're like
not even the ankle thobes, they're the knee ones.
And I'm like, I always heard of them Salafi guys, innit? The Salafi dons.
Okay.
So I was like, I've always avoided them. I heard they're crazy. So now I just left them. I'm walking, looking for something new. These two brothers look. They say Salaam alaikum. As I go, just pop my head and say wa alaikum salam. The guy goes, 2 T's, bro.
Okay.
For me and my friend. So I just followed the process.
Yeah.
And then, lovely brothers, they're not as bad as they all said Salafi lot are.
Yeah.
They're beautiful,
Yeah.
great manners, great etiquette. Then had a conversation about nasheeds and the fitnas, and I said, give me one dalil and I'll tag out if you give me some proof. And they gave me this proof, which wasn't really a proof. But at that point in my life, I was willing to accept anything other. They led me to understand that because I was adhering to an innovation or I was adding something else on top, that's the reason why things crumble. And at the point that I'm in, I see it as evidence in and of itself, right? So I'm like, God, I see the path. I let go of this thing that's no good for me. So I just dropped nasheeds, bro. But it couldn't last.
Couldn't last, what do you mean by that?
The reason it couldn't last was because the framework in and of itself was an innovation. But outside of that, what I mean is like, I tried to be something I wasn't. That framework was better for people who come from a destructive lifestyle and require order. And if they need order, yes, like Islam has everything for everyone.
Yeah.
And that order and that regimented nature is important. Like there's people in this world that can only exist within the army.
Oh yes.
They can't, their lives cannot exist. They have too much chaos within them and it gives them enough structure and regimen.
Yeah.
People need that. For my soul was way too soft for it. I'm a creative, I live outside of infinite different boxes. So I started to see the shortcomings in the discourses.
Okay.
And then when I'm asking, yo, can you clarify, these are the things, and then not being able to get those answers, teachers being praised, but those teachers, I can't even talk to you. We can't interrelate here. When you're giving me the fatwa on music or the fatwa on nasheeds, and I go deeper into it, it's like, it's an opinion based upon your references.
Yeah.
However, you yourself are not an artist or a creative and do not have artistic or creative tendencies. So it's then like, I don't know, it's just like a bird trying to talk to a worm about how the movement is of the soil when it twists and turns.
Well, the question is then, are you saying that fatwa on music should only be given by creatives? Or?
No, it should be holistic.
Okay.
It should be contextualized. This is what I mean, like, if you're not in the box, how can you talk about the box?
Agreed.
This is really important.
Yeah, no,
like,
agreed.
and this is why we have scholars who are localized.
Yeah.
This isn't, you don't have one religious scholar ideology suits all. The scholars are people who extrapolate from the time of the Prophet and the statements of the Prophet and the Quran and understand the context of that, and then they translate it to this current context, and then it becomes localized. And the only reason that they have relevance is because they directly understand the localized nature of the people.
Exactly.
But if you're not drawing directly to the people, you're out of context. And then when you look back, when I then found people and I looked to different opinions that derives from the context, I found all these different religious opinions and references that backed up a different approach and a different way to come closer to God. I wanted to go Egypt before to study, like, and they parred me there. Like, they went to war the day I was going to buy my ticket.
The revolution.
So like, I wasn't in the educational system for a while, intellectually anyway. I'd take a back seat, but the thing was, they were like, don't do that, just study your religion, like save up money, study your religion, just go on JSA. My mum's like, if you're not gonna go to college, you gotta do the JSA thing. And then man like, yeah, you get the money and then you just study, learn your religion, innit? You don't need that. And I'm like, Simon was like, okay, that makes sense. This is wallahi, this is what happened. So I leave and I'm having this internal, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm dressed fresh. And the same day I've got my job seekers appointment.
Yeah.
I decided, innit, I'm not gonna go to uni.
Yeah.
Is the same day my uni registration day is.
Okay.
The day I start, first day of uni, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in job seekers now. Like, I walked in and it was like, sat down with my bag. I can't even explain the feeling. TikTok. All right. If I don't go, like if I stay here in the next 10 minutes, I can't, this is not gonna happen. I will be here.
Yeah.
Is this the life I want? And I don't know what happened to me, bro. I just got up. I had all my uni stuff, all that stuff in my bag. So I just rolled up to this University of Greenwich, bro. Like, dressed fresh, feeling fly.
So you left JSA office?
Yeah, I didn't do it.
You didn't do it? You didn't go through it?
I ducked the JSA, bro. And I ended up going straight to uni. And just because it's you, and I'll be honest with you, what ended up happening, met no Muslims, met one of my close brothers to this day. His name's Terry, one of my good friends.
Yeah.
Like, just connected with him, just started cracking joke, banter. I ended up going back to his place in the uni. And First day, and then rave it up, now if you rave it up. And then I'm just like, everything I never do, bro, done in the night.
Oh, wow.
Done in the night. And I'm just like, what is going on? My mum's calling me, Faisal, you're not coming home. I'm like, nah, mum. And this is how it all began though. Because this is the reality of like, when you constrain people
and suppress them
and suppress the desire, they're not given any space to have outlet.
Yeah.
They're filled with all these different dreams, but there's no infrastructure to uphold it, no potential places for them to find releases.
And they feel guilty for being themselves.
Exactly.
So
what do? The thing is, like, all energy that moves through us is like water.
Yeah.
If you hold water and it becomes stagnant, it becomes putrid, it becomes sickly. And then it becomes something else, and it becomes poisonous. The same way human nature is the same. If you do not have the channels to actively understand and explore yourself, the very parts of you don't explore become demonic, essentially. Like something that takes over you later on in your life. People who haven't, like, Allah always talks about the balance and not to transgress the balance. The only way you understand where the balance is through transgression and returning. Tawbah is the most important
100%.
aspect, because it's the mechanism of human evolution.
Exactly.
But if I didn't know this, I didn't have the space to. But looking back reflectively on my life now, it's one of the most essential pillars. That year destroyed me, bro. At the end of that year, I left the UK and I said, I'm done. I dropped out of uni. I said, I need to go to Africa, put my feet in some roots and just figure stuff out.
Why?
Because the cognitive dissonance was too much. Like the crash between what I was.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask a very personal question. Please. You know it's me.
Bro, of course.
In that time of 19 to 20, do you still call yourself a Muslim?
It was the scariest period of my life, because I was fighting to call myself a Muslim, even though where I was told me I wasn't. I just left. I dropped uni, I left, and I spent a year just reciting Quran, doing exercise.
In Somalia, isn't it?
In Somalia. No one knew me. A whole restart of my life.
Okay.
A year reciting Quran, doing exercise, eating good food. and like considering where I was in my mental health at the time, it was the greatest gift anyone can have, to just stop and to leave and to really
What happened
just
to your mental health? Sorry.
Bruv, it just deteriorated, man.
Okay.
Just think about it, like at the same time, like just so much had happened in my life at that time.
Yeah.
During my period of 14 to 19, 18 years of age, my father was incarcerated.
Okay.
First thing, like, and these were the points I turned to smoking weed quite intensely in my life. Like, and this is something I make sure and make note to mention, and make sure cameras mention, because it's essential. People don't talk about the addiction and what causes those things in our lives.
Of course.
So for me, I was already trying to like find out of body experiences, things to just take me out from where I am, because dealing with the factors of, I'm walking down the street, my first understanding of Islam now is people are now watching you. You're a role model, but people don't watch you to look out for good and to support you. They're
Pick
gonna
up the
pick out your
faults.
defaults.
Yeah.
And I'm so insecure at this point, because I'm still trying to figure out who I am, what I am in my life, like what my journey is.
Yeah.
Do I want to do things musically? Do I not? How do I fix the relationship with my mother? How do I do well with my siblings? How do I connect? What do I want to do in my life?
Yeah.
Alright. Look. Have you ever seen the waterfall? Have you ever dived while you free fall? Felt the world come and rest under your feet? Yeah. Have you ever felt pain? Wondering if you breathe again. Do you know what it's like to live without a home? 'Cause I know, Lord, I know. Oh, Lord, I know. But now I'm not alone. Look, I thought that I could be anything that I wanted to be. I tried to fight and chase desires and dreams, but then I realized I was a seed, and I was in the soil of this world. Boys and the girls beside me, growing trees, and we will break free. Finally, when we realized the miracle was always inside. So don't be afraid of your demons and what they may whisper to you, 'cause you gotta see through and know that you're loved and you have always been. You are loved and you have always been. You are loved and you have always been. So don't define yourself by your sin. Ooh, 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 ooh. And if you felt alone, just know you're not alone. The path is your heartbeat, and know it will carry you home. So if you felt alone, just know that you're alone, and know that your heart will carry you home. Ooh, 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 ooh. So I know that there will come a day when I will die. Give myself to the miracle of this dream called life. And when I am gone, my message will still be strong. You can hear me in the wind, hear me in the leaves, hear me in the sparkle of the morning breeze. Just know I live and I give everything, and hear me like ooh, 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 ooh. it's weird because we judge ourselves for having like spikes in our realities.
Yeah.
But in life, this is how we find our balance. We have to go through all different degrees of it. And for me, all the good that I had allowed me really to face all the darkness that I had inside of me, I think. And that's what that mental breakdown really was for me. And it allowed me to rely on my family for the first time, to be like, I don't know anything, you know? And to feel support from my family, to feel support from my loved ones, really allowed me to realize that I'm loved and I'm supported. And that was a defining moment in my life, I think. There was no story in my head anymore. It was like there was no need to be anything else other than myself. So...
Was that kind of like an emptiness? Or?
Yeah, it was the most...
Or was it quite freeing?
It was empty, and that emptiness was freedom. Like, people, we have issues of space.
Yeah.
We have fear of silence, like, but silence isn't no sound. It's all sound. Outside of the chaos of ourselves, you know what I mean? It's what holds in. Literally, second I held silence, I hear a car beep, I hear the fan going. There's so much there. But before then, there was this internal noise and chatter. What's this? What's that? Thinking, backtracking on all these different thoughts and experiences. When I got back, it was just raw. Because whatever I was before, I definitely wasn't now. I just was. And it gave me a beautiful new approach, a new outlook. Like, looking at things differently, like it just didn't have the same visionary dream or allure. It was just like way more authentic. Like Allah wasn't a man in a chair who's gonna judge me at the end of all of it and tell me I did this bad and not that. It wasn't. My whole perspective of what I thought Allah was radically transformed. Radically transformed, because it left like, it wasn't held in text anymore in terms of like words of other people, images of other people. It wasn't held in things that people said to me before in the past. It was a lived experience and something that we are in and is continually and consistently happening. And I found such a deep fascination with that. And then I saw that in people.
I think it's quite interesting, because even when the scholars write, they say like, the signs of God are not in books. The signs of God are not his books. The signs of God are his creation. And, you know, and that's why the word ayah is so interesting, because the word ayah actually means a sign. It's not like people say it's a verse. It doesn't mean that. It means a sign. So the actual ayat of Allah are not what you read in this Quran. Is actually what you see around you, and these things remind you of, the manifest presence. But coming back, so you're 20 years old, you have the breakdown. Alhamdulillah, we can see you're very well now. You're looking good. You know, you're on top of your game now. Alhamdulillah. So then, how do you come out of that, and then what happens for you?
What ended up happening for me was, at the point that this all crystallized, it was like I did many things to like poke and test faith, and to poke and test dogma and structure of religion to understand. And once I'd poked enough things and I was content with where I was, I realized that like the hand, this is literally what happened. Like the ummah is like a hand, There's a thumb, there's a pinky, there's a middle finger, there's a ring finger, there's an index. You can't all be an index finger. So I realized I can't necessarily be a hafid and be entrusted with the memorization of Quran for the rest of my life. Let me be what I am great at and really use that to service the ummah. Rumi's cave saved my life when it came to me being an artist. Forgive me, my mind moves in a weird way.
No, it's fine.
Rumi's cave and Sakina from Poetic Pilgrimage saved my artistic identity. She was the one who told me to go to Somalia instead of going to Egypt. And I wrote these pieces when I came back that summarized that entire year for me. One was called Don't Give Up, and the other one was called Waterfall. And they were made there.
Oh, wow.
And when those songs were crystallized and the art came, and it was like, that's when all of the journey began to come back. And I had a point in coming back. I had a message to come back. But where I'm at now with my art as well, it's not just for Muslims. The best of mankind are those that benefit mankind. So the things I've gone through, I've now seen parallels in so many different people, and people directly connect with it. So indeed Allah is one, and life is a journey of unraveling that understanding and that knowing till we come to the point of remembrance, and that's when we meet our Maker. So until then, no one has the answer. No one. We all have the stories that we share and how we internalize that. So for me, to simplify it, Islam is the value system that I've been raised in, and in that's used to create psychological stability, moral values and social integration, and beautiful etiquettes like ihsan, excellence, and how to give back. That is like a wicked program to have in your psyche. a wicked method to learn and a wicked way to exist. It's amazing, subhanAllah. So to have that is just a psychological gift which I nurture to better my spiritual state. Everything else is a process of understanding that connection. With any belief system, we don't know until we meet that our maker. So there's a deep humility with the way I live my life, which makes me open to receive understanding and be kinder to people. Like, if religion doesn't make you harder on yourself and kinder to others, I don't know what we're living.